Treksploration.
Hello, Trekkies, and welcome back to Treksploration. I'm Albie.
And I'm Chris, and welcome to the party, pal.
We're at the disco. This disco has mirrors to make the room look bigger, I think. Is that why they got mirrors here at this disco? So they don't have to have as many of those party balls?
The disco ball. You got the party ball right over your head there. It's a board party ball.
Yeah, sorta. It's the mirror ball. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mirrors.
That's the way. Trek likes it. That's disco.
Oh, that's true.
Last outpost. That's the way. Frankie like it.
I like it. Disco has made a comeback. Today we're talking about Season 5, Episode 5 of Star Trek Discovery, Mirrors. It aired, original air date, April 25th, 2024. Writers, Joanna Lee and Carlos Sisko. Directed by Jen McGowan.
Jen McGowan, that's right.
I hope we're getting a Jonathan Frakes directed episode this season. We haven't gotten one yet.
I was looking at the episode titles because I have to look them up to make the rundown. Yay. And I also looked them up to find out who the writer and the director are. Writers, maybe, in this case. And it looks to me like Jonathan is the director for the penultimate episode of the series. Not just the season, but the series.
So he's got one?
He's got one.
The one before the last one. Who's directing the last one?
Olatan Sushikboshopupu. The one.
I was hoping he does really good with disco. So both him and Jonathan, that's good. They'll end it strong, hopefully, direction wise anyway. Writing wise, not so confident, but we'll see. I'm going into it hopeful.
Is that? I guess maybe a shadow of things to come.
No. Great movie, though. As we know, Trey Calloway likes that movie.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
I refreshed myself on that anyway.
I think I'm looking bloated today. If you're listening on the pod feed.
You've seen me, right? You've seen me in person, right?
Know. I'm looking like all cheeks tonight. So
I'm very jealous of your physique.
I apologize to everyone listening. I've been very puffy today. So
this man pretends not to look good. I saw him in person. He's ripped. He's got a six pack.
I'm not ripped.
He's got these calves. He looks like he goes to the gym 3 days a week.
I got a six pack of gin.
But I mean, man, if I was single,
you are single.
I am single. Okay, let me call Laura and see what she's doing. I'll see if I can negotiate something.
How dare you?
Chris, can you read the episode synopsis for Season 5, Episode 5 of Star Trek Discovery? Mirrors.
Not only can I read it, I wrote it. The hunt for the fleeing Moll and Locke and the next clue for the progenitor technology leads Discovery to a seemingly unassuming sector of space until Stamets texts the tech to reveal a giant pulsating wormhole. Burnham leaves a reluctant Commander Kyle in charge and heads into the wormhole with Book. Inside, they find a ship graveyard, including a derelict ISS Enterprise from the Mirror Universe. As Michael and Book track their quarry onto the derelict Terran ship, we get a heaping helping of backstory about Moll and Locke, with the revelation that Locke is Breen. Many pew-pews ensue.
Ensue. Yes, hijinks ensue.
Yes.
All right.
Many pew-pew hijinks.
That is Mirrors. So I know in the last episode of Disco, I said I was going to pop the popcorn and get ready to watch the episode, but I sat down and had the popcorn ready. I was in the movie theater that I have at my house in the theater chairs and had the big screen going. I was ready, and I watched. What did I watch? A Laserdisc of where no one has gone before that episode. And then 3:00 came around. I started watching the Disco episode, and I started going. I was like, "Oh no, I want to watch this." No. So I just gave in and I went to sleep. But I woke up early the next morning and fully awake. I was ready to go and I watched it. What did you watch?
I guess we watched the same thing just at different times. That's your first impression, huh?
Oh, my first impression? Okay. Now I'm going to be kind about this, as kind as I can, because I saw an interview with Carlos Cisco. He did on the Seventh Rule with Sirach and Ryan.
And
And
Carlos, he's the writer?
Carlos is
Or,
one of the
or
writers of the
right.
two writers of the episode. Seems
Okay.
like a cool guy. Seems like a nice guy. He watched all of Star Trek after he got the job, up until season 4 of Voyager. That's as far as he got. But so like I feel bad about saying how I feel about the episode because people work hard and stuff. But
We acknowledge that.
yes, and we appreciate you. Although here's my first impression. Okay, to me the episode is kind of like the instruction manual to a microwave oven in the 80s, written in Chinese, translated to English, printed out on a jigsaw puzzle that is then disassembled and put in a pile, and some of the pieces are removed and replaced with another puzzle, and half the pieces are turned upside down, and there's no box art on how to put the episode back together. So I'm saying there's pieces in there I did like, but man, you got to really work hard to enjoy these episodes. That's my first impression.
All right. My first impression, and I think my most lasting impression of this episode, is for a bottle episode of Strange New Worlds, it sure was middling. Because that's basically what we had here. I mean, they said, "What do we have? What standing sets do we have so we can amortize all the costs over time? Oh, let's just put them on the Enterprise and put
That
a
was
couple of
glaring.
let's put some Terran Empire sconces up somewhere, and we'll call it a day. Sounds good." I wanted to be so excited. When I heard mirrors, I was just thinking, okay, how are they going to dredge up the mirror universe again? I liked the fact that this made me think of Mirror Mirror. I liked some of the callbacks and tie-ins to previous Trek lore that has been expanded upon since Mirror Mirror, which also gets referenced here. But I mean, it just seemed to be window dressing for the sake of getting the Enterprise on screen. I don't know if it's going to come in somewhere down the road, considering the way this ended. But yeah, I mean,
With the Enterprise, I would say missed opportunities everywhere. If you're going to use it, use it. Don't just have it be a set. Name it something else. An old Federation ship, and redress it just slightly. But ISS Enterprise, Mirror Universe stuff, I got excited. That was one of the images leaked because it was in one of the first trailers for this season of Disco. And I was hoping for Mirror Universe. I couldn't figure out how they could get it that far in the future, and it's ISS Enterprise and all this stuff. They just used the set they had.
Wormholes solve everything.
Such a wasted thing. Listening to the interview with Carlos Cisco, which is cool. He's got a last name Cisco, so it's spelled different, but sounds the same. It seems like the writing process is kind of like people figure. I figure anyway. It seemed to be more like this is what we have, and we got to connect A to B somehow, and it's more about problem solving than coming up with a cool idea and writing a story about it. It's more about how can we get to the next episode? How can we get to the next episode? And I really felt that in this one.
I feel like that's just a byproduct of the binging society that we're in now. And even though this comes out weekly, I feel like all shows, especially made for streaming shows, are eventually going to be binged, and that's really the master that they serve. So it really is like a middling part of a chapter in a longer book. And we're kind of already way into the episode discussion. Why don't we back up because we did get some feedback.
Oh, feedback! Awesome.
Yeah. So and should I tell people how they can give us feedback?
Absolutely.
I think I shall. Thank you. As always, we encourage everybody to join the party, pal. Do you like that? I'm trying to catchphrases, but they're not my catchphrases. They're just catchphrases from different movies. I'm going to do one
Keep the
every
change, you
episode.
filthy animal.
Now we're just doing the intro to Cosmic Potato. About 9 people know what I'm talking about there. Anyway, so you can contact us and see all of our great stuff at patreon.com/Treksplorers. That is where we're building our main community of Treksplorers, and we want everybody to go there and see what's happening. You do not have to join as a paying member to get good content. We have a whole bunch of stuff that is available to anybody who is there, paying or free. But there are tiers that you can join for more bonus content and for other goodies. So check that out at patreon.com/Treksplloration. You can follow us on Instagram at TreksplorationPod. You can X us at Treksploration. You can email us at TreksplorationPod@gmail.com. And you can always call us at 707-847-6682. I believe that's the number. I still haven't written it on the rundown, but I believe that's the right number. If it's the wrong number, tell whoever you got to that Treksploration says, hey, what's up?
What's up, man? What's up?
Also, a big what's up to our current crew of Treksplorers. That includes our cadet, Scott Seligman, our lieutenant commanders, Cosplay Dad, One of All, and Fantasy Fan, and our captain, Captain Charles from Texas, Captain on the bridge.
Captain on the bridge.
Captain. Major, Doctor. So that's all at patreon.com/Treksplloration. Thank you for everyone who supports us. Thank you for everyone who has checked us out over there. And
Christopher, do you realize this is the first episode that to see the full episode, you have to be part of their crew?
That's true. So by that, I'm guessing you're doing a little bit of a teaser and then cutting it off right about here.
Soon, and for the rest of your life, unless you want to join the crew.
Yes, please join the crew. It's a lot of fun, and
we're having a fun party over there.
Yeah, and we're having a fun party here. We're having a fun party there. Here we'll be there eventually. If you join,
when will then be now?
I think now is then.
Soon.
That's the issue, and wherever we go, there we are. And hey, should we read what Fantasy Fan had to say about Face the Strange?
We got feedback from Lieutenant Commander Fantasy Fan. I'm excited. I always love their feedback.
This was for the time jumping episode of Disco. At first, I was a bit lost on where in time they were. Weren't we all, Fantasy Fan? I haven't rewatched the old seasons of the show, but as we got towards the end with the two Burnhams, I started to really enjoy it. Best episode of the season so far. Two Burnhams. Sounds like a one-man play. Sounds like Sonequa Martin's Broadway reflections on Disco. The two Burnhams.
I would go see her.
I would go see her too.
Broadway something. Yeah,
I'd go see her at the opening of an envelope.
Exactly.
Yeah. So thank you, Lieutenant Commander Fantasy Fan. I think that you are not alone in finding the Face the Strange episode to be probably the strongest of the season so far, and I don't believe that for either Albie or I, spoilers, mirrors detracts from that. I still think that we both feel that way as well.
I did like Face the Strange. I really did.
Yeah. So everybody seemed to like that one. Maybe it's the timey-wimey stuff. Maybe all Trek fans are just suckers for time travel.
A little bit of sci-fi in your Star Trek. It might be good.
Right?
Just saying.
Well, I mean, we had wormholes in this one. So.
Yeah, kind of.
All right, so we also got a rather lengthy email.
Is this our first email? Is it?
I don't think so. I think we had
your
one
account set up or something. Did we have other emails?
I think we might have had one, but it might have been from someone that has since joined the crew of Treksplorers over on Patreon. Cool. So I don't remember. We do so many of these a week.
I know I sent him money, but I didn't get the Nigerian prince to have. He didn't send me.
He's
money
on his way. He's on his way. They just have to clear some more custom stuff. You just have to send them a little more money,
and then I get this big amount of money.
Right. Once you send them that money, they can free up the big money. Then they can send it to you. You might have to send them a little more money before that, though.
Makes sense.
Yeah, to get the wire transfer set up and things like that. But then See,
Men.
right now you're washing lettuce, but soon. Anyway, this email comes from a viewer, Willard Black, and Willard
Woo.
writes, "Dear Chris and Albie, I have been following both of you on the Quantum Leap podcast since I discovered it about a year ago. I started at the
Nice.
beginning, and shortly after getting to where Chris, Matt, and Allison took over, began to skip ahead to the episodes dealing with the reboot. I just started the episode on the series finale. Pout. I have been meaning to write into the Quantum Leap podcast for quite some time now, and will hopefully do so at some point. But this email is about Treksploration. Yay, that's why we're reading it on Treksploration.
Woo.
I just discovered it when I went to the QLP YouTube channel. I was ecstatic to learn that the two of you have started this Star Trek podcast journey. I have been a fan of Star Trek since I saw Star Trek II in the movie theater in 1982, followed quickly by learning about and watching the original series. Now, that is odd to me to interrupt the email. There's more, but your first exposure to Trek was Wrath of Khan, and then you went back and watched the original series. That's
I
pretty
wonder,
neat.
would someone who didn't see the original series cry as much at the part that all the fat men cry in the theater, including myself?
Is that the part when?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. I don't understand what fat men means, but
I cry every time. I cry every time.
no, I don't. I don't usually cry. I cry when Joaquin dies. Yours is superior. I think that's where we started, right? Anyway,
Yeah.
so Willard continues. Original series. Okay. Unfortunately, I have fibromyalgia and Menieresis disease, and I'm on SSI, so my finances are extremely tight. So I was quite bummed to learn that the podcast can only be accessed as a Patreon member. As much as I'd love to become a member, it's not something that's possible for me. Because of the fibromyalgia, it tends to take me longer to complete tasks physically and mentally. As such, it feels like I have extremely short days and very little gets done. I tend to listen to podcasts and use what little time I do spend watching shows I like. And like Albie, I seem to like everything. In fact, I think I like more than Albie, and I think that's impossible. Sorry, but that's impossible. I think I like more than Albie does. I get further behind on shows every season. All this is to say that as much as I wish I could, I'm not going to be able to find the time to watch Treksploration, but I wish you both all the luck on it and know that you have a fan, even if I can't listen to the podcast. I'd also like to take a quick moment to offer my condolences to the entire QLP family for the loss of Matt Dale. I was quite saddened to hear of his passing. Thank you very much, Willard. We always remember Matt fondly, and thank you for your condolences.
He's always in
Again,
our thoughts.
he's always in our thoughts and our hearts. Again, good luck with Treksploration. And although I won't be following you there, I'll still be following Chris and Allison on the QLP podcast. Actually, that would just be the QL podcast. And occasionally Albie when there's something I just have to see. And occasionally Albie when Allison and I let him on the QLP. Signed, Willard. All right, when he's invited, those rare occasions. Signed, Willard Black. P.S. Chris, as best as I can tell, we are the same age. You may be a year or two older than me, Willard. I'm a year or two older than everybody. Although you look way younger. Well, thank you. Ooh.
He looks so good in person, and this man smells beautiful. I don't know what he does, but man.
Listen, man, I told Albie to put on deodorant like once, and he hasn't let me live it down yet. P.P.S. Albie, since you like musicals, a little tidbit about me. My all-time favorite movie is Grease, and I don't confess that to many people. We go together like that, together forever. Where do you stand on Grease? Or dance on Grease? Where do you stand on Grease?
This is behind the paywall now, so I actually love it. I love it. The last time I saw it was at a local dinner theater, and one of Serenity's drama teachers, which is HAWT, played was it Rizzo, I think, which is the bad girl, and she was in lingerie for like a half hour, and I was front row center.
Nice.
I love Grease.
I have a unique journey with Grease. It was one of the first albums we ever got. It was like the double album. and it had the whole
Yes.
soundtrack on it.
I
And
have it. I
being
got my man card. I have
a
it.
child of the 70s, so we had
Mhm.
that and had the picture of Olivia on the cover.
Mhm.
And it turns out that for whatever reason, this is going somewhere, I promise you.
It
My
doesn't have to.
uncle and aunt bought us for Christmas one year or whatever. I don't even know why, but they bought us the album Physical by Olivia Newton-John. And so we had the Grease album with Olivia on the cover and the Physical album. Let's get physical.
Physical. Physical.
Turns out when my sister got into music, when she got old enough to listen to stuff, Olivia Newton-John became her favorite artist. And VCRs had been invented by then. So she literally watched Grease every day, sometimes twice a day when she was growing up. So Grease is burned into my brain, not only from having the album as a kid, but then my sister's incessant obsession with it. I know that movie backwards and forwards. I've never seen the musical. I've only ever seen the
Really good.
theatrical version of it. So
It's really
that's to say I have a soft spot for Grease. I know all the music and I really, really like it. Anyway, the movie version of it. So
if it comes around to off Broadway over there, you should go see it. It's really good. A lot of work. You'd be surprised watching these people just the nonstop. Just man, it's like they're doing Olivia Newton-John's aerobic tape. The whole time. It's just
okay.
constant. But really good. 50s, 1950s from the 1900s. We're both from the 1900s. Really fun stuff. Really fun stuff. But yeah, I enjoy it. It's cool. Yeah. Okay. Willard, I understand your situation, and we're not doing this to extort money out of people at all. Go ahead and check your email. I'll reply to you personally.
Enough said.
Enough said. All
Enough
right.
said.
Wow, that's pretty good feedback.
We go together like blah, 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 lippity, blah, blah. We could just do this all night.
Yeah,
we'll always be as one.
Weirdest thing about the movie version of Grease is when they're in that diner and the painting is blurred out like the whole time. It's just done so poorly and bad. Now that I told you, next time you see it, you can't unsee it.
Yeah, I don't even remember a diner scene in Grease. That's not hand jive. They didn't do hand jive in a diner. They did it in the gym.
Hand jive.
To hand jive, baby.
That was a good one too. Yeah, it's great. Great musical. Okay, welcome to the Grease podcast. I'm down. I can do it. I want to be one of the pink ladies.
I want to be Kaniki.
Kaniki. What is it? Rizzo, right? Or is that a rat on Muppets? No.
The answer is yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes. The answer is yes.
And the pizza place. All right. So now we talk about the episode.
I thought the pizza place was Panucci's.
Panucci's Pizza. No, that's Futurama.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the same price as a large cheese pizza. That's my PIN number. I shouldn't say that out loud. All right, here we go behind the paywall. I thought we were behind the paywall before. Uh-oh.
No, we're behind the second
show.
This is the double secret paywall.
Okay. For the rest of the show, go to, patreon.com/Treksploration and join our crew. For as little as $5 a month, you get to listen to us ramble on for hours and hours and hours and hours a month about Star Trek. And apparently.
And I'm going to just do a heartrending rendition of "Hopelessly Devoted." So just shoot it.
Devoted to you. I can't sing. All right, now further impressions.
Main discussion. We can call it main discussion.
Main discussion of season 5, episode 5 of Discovery Mirrors. Why don't you start this off? Or I could. No, you start this off.
No, after you, sir. I defer.
I liked parts of it. The main parts I liked of this episode was Book's opening. I got really excited. I was thinking, wow, is this going to be a Book episode? Is the episode going to focus on Book and the Mirror Universe? And how is this going to work? I loved the opening of Book, following Book, and it wasn't Burnham for like a good 3 minutes. And then we went back to normal. Where I liked that, but I think they messed up, was there wasn't bookends. He should have closed the episode as well. They just dropped the ball on that big time.
It's funny because the show always loves to start off with a soliloquy.
Hmm.
So it was nice to give it to somebody besides Burnham after all these years. And I do like Book, and I think of his opening monologue as "That's the power of choice," ba-ba, ba-ba-ba, because that's what he talks about in this whole thing. I guess it's supposed to harken back to his relationship with Cleveland Booker the third or the fourth, or is he Cleveland Booker the
It's a
fifth?
choice.
It's a
Not sure how that
choice.
works. They're
Yeah.
different. They're different planet, different people. Or were they a
Yeah.
colony of Earth? They look like humans,
No,
except for the
because they
glowing
have
forehead.
they have like the
Yeah.
magic foreheads. They can cast speak with animals, and
Yes.
as long as they roll,
Yeah,
15 or
I can
higher.
talk to animals too.
Yeah.
They just don't understand a word I'm saying.
Right. I have animals that can talk to me and I talk to them, but we can't
Oh,
speak. I mean, we don't
but
converse.
no glowing forehead.
Yeah, no. I mean, just now a little bit of my light's a little bit too bright. I'm glad I patted down beforehand though, so I think
My
we're all
favorite
right.
is what you said to Penelope and Crystal. Shh, they're sleeping. Shh.
That might have been Laura too. It's funny. You were just talking about how you went to your theater, your media room where
Yes,
you watch your TV.
yes,
You slept in my media room, my theater, which
I
also
did.
happens to be the spare room and the guest room.
I did. It was so comfortable. I slept better than I had in years. It was amazing.
Oh my god, that shows you what kind of company I am. But yeah, no, I didn't mind the book opening. I was kind of excited about it. I figured, book episode is good. David Ajala is always fun to
Oh,
watch on
David.
screen, and he's got a nice presence, so he'll always ground a scene when he's in it, makes it more watchable. But as you said, then we quickly go from that, I guess, setting up whatever his journey is going to be in this episode to finding the next clue. Now, this is where I'm rolling my eyes because they can't see anything until Stamets says, just turn up the gain a little bit. And all of a sudden this magnificent wormhole appears, and it's not visually, you can't really see it. It's not like on the visible spectrum, but then it remains on screen throughout, no matter what point of view you're watching the show from. You should only be able to see it through the screen. but
Yes.
but
There
whenever
was
you go to an
even
outside shot, there's this giant massive wormhole. Yeah.
yes, and the reflection of it was even reflecting off the hull.
So I guess we're watching it in Stamets vision now.
Maybe Stamets vision. Maybe
Yeah.
the outside cameras filming the ship.
It's a neat trick because you don't even need the 3D glasses.
Yeah.
So
Well,
yeah.
future Magitech. But
Yeah.
yeah, that was
Yep.
a big oversight, or like they weren't communicating, or somebody, I don't know. Maybe
No,
just point of view. What
it's just more cool.
dramatic
It's just like,
license?
yeah, it's way cool now that it's there. You can't
Yeah.
unsee it, right? Kind of like that. It's like that blurry painting in Greece at the diner. Yeah.
I think they should have had a couple shots like Hunt for Red October, where it's some Russian, some English, and then you get the point, but then they transition to where you can see it. But it was just like, nope, we can see it on the view screen, so now we can see it outside the ship. Maybe you could always
Yeah.
see it outside the ship. Maybe they could just go to a window, and there was something
Yeah,
with the view
right.
screen
Maybe
that
the view
could do it.
screen's just up.
Yeah, maybe.
Hey, now that we're behind the paywall, can we just curse?
I don't
Or
know. Let us know, commanders, lieutenant commanders, captains. What do you think? Behind the paywall? Yes, no, bleeps, bloops. Let me know.
anyway, I don't know.
We're building this crew. You son of a bitch, I'm in.
Anyway, so
Other parts I liked. I loved the Lock and Moll stuff on this episode. They should have did the whole
wow,
episode. They should have did the whole episode of those two crazy kids getting together. I
those
didn't
two
need
crazy kids in
anybody
love.
on the Discovery crew. I could have just watched Moll and Locke's story on how they got to this point.
And to me, the Moll and Locke stuff made the ISS Enterprise stuff seem really compelling. Like,
Oh
this
my
is endemic though of the series, and maybe it's a Chris problem. Maybe it's just me. I just do
Hot
not
chicks.
care. About any of the relationships on this show. The
I love
Saru and Tarina stuff bored the crap out of me. The Gray and Adira stuff, which is cringe. They haven't had any like real Hugh and Paul stuff. this season
Mhm.
beyond a couple of errant lines between the two. They haven't even really had any
Yeah,
scenes
they seem to
together.
be distancing. Sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, and then the Michael and Book stuff works because I like Sonequa and David together. So,
Mhm.
but that's just had cursory. We're going to use this as more, I don't know, instant drama, let's say. Like if we just need to build some tension in a scene, we'll sort of obliquely refer to the fact that they had a relationship before and they don't now, and everybody's sad. Wah. So, I mean, the Mullen Lock stuff to me was no different. I don't like the characters to begin with,
Mhm.
therefore I don't really care how they came together. And this was a perfect. It was a perfect opportunity to make me care about them, to give them a
Mhm.
backstory that made them sympathetic and compelling, and maybe wanted to make you root for them getting the tech too. But I'm still trying to figure out what it was about, besides the fact that he showed her his face, and that was foreboding, and now he's on the run. I
His jelly face, his jelly breen face.
So yeah, Breen, huh? Did Disco just
Breen.
ruin the Breen?
Ah, I'm holding on to this. I like Mullen Lock. I like how they got together. I'm holding on to it. You can't ruin it for me. This is something at least. I really like, what is her name? Eve Harlow.
I don't
Um,
know. Yeah,
I
sure.
think so. That plays Moll. I don't know anything about her other than what I've seen on screen. So I know about Moll. And for me, she's got that, that like Basic Instinct hot crazy scale thing going on, and like off the charts hot crazy scale for me. And like the dangerous bad girl that's just crazy, but you think she's into you, so you'll follow her anywhere, and just has that about her. So
I'm
that's
glad,
why I'm
but
picking
we'll never have to fight over Maul. To me, it's like the writers, as they were breaking the season, tried to figure out what a 14-year-old girl who wanted to be an edge lord decided to look like.
it.
And it's like this sort of like emo retro enough look. Maybe it's the look of the character that just turns me off of it, with the big dumb hair and the
Mm.
gothic outfit, and it's
Love
played. It
the
looks like
costume.
it looks like something out of the 90s to me, and not in a good
Maybe that's
way.
why I like it.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. But I feel like, this is a costume that could have been a reject from Masters of the Universe, the cinematic Masters of the Universe with Dolph Lundgren. It's just so played.
Mm.
And I feel the same way about Locke. Locke is in very much indicative of a problem I have with the Discovery look for aliens.
Mm.
All of the appliances look like they were 3D printed. They barely try to make them look flesh colored. Everything looks like a piece of plastic. And I think Locke's whole face looks like a piece of plastic. I have a problem. Rayner's ears take me out of it every week because they are clearly just hunks of plastic on the side of his head.
It's
And
it's
yeah,
it's a 3D printed mold, and then silicon is put in there. So then you have a light diffusion. So where the light goes through under their skin and then comes back out, more simulating more like human flesh. But
they're
it does
not doing
have
a
that
good enough job of simulating it. I
look.
guess like Ultra HD is not it's not your friend when it comes to these makeup effects.
Mm-hmm.
And I think one thing that they did learn when everything went to 4K, that less is more. The
Mm-hmm.
more elaborate the makeup is, the more screamingly obvious it's going to be in these higher resolutions. And I think it was probably Mission Log, because that's the only Trek stuff that I've listened to, very consistently, that talked about this stuff. And they said, "Are we sure that we want to see like DS9 in HD? Are we sure we want all of that resolution?" Because all of the character makeup on that probably relied somewhat on the fact that you had a lower resolution SD screen,
Mm-hmm.
so it hid a lot of the
A lot of the lines.
Yeah, a lot of the sins, a lot of the flaws.
Yeah, a lot of the Phillips head screwdriver heads on the panels on Next Generation.
Yeah, and a lot of like, I mean, they're
I want it. I'll take
on
it.
TOS. I mean, they made them up like it was the 1910s and it was a silent movie. Sulu was often tarted up like a whore. I mean, just the amount of makeup on these people, the guy liner and everything, and in HD, it's just like that is some really blue eyeshadow. It must be in the 70s here. So
I say, give me the Blu-rays. I'll spend the $100 a season on Deep Space Nine and Voyager, and then we could always turn down the resolution.
yeah, I guess so. Yeah,
It's so shocking to me that it hasn't been done yet. It just makes no sense. What else does Paramount have?
Oh yeah, just watch What We Left Behind, and they'll tell you why. They'll tell you why they can't do it.
Hey, I'm in the credits of that.
Albie, that's a coincidence because I have a friend who's in the credits of that.
Who is it? It's me. I'm in the credits of, and so is Serenity, of the new Voyager documentary that's never coming out eventually. Last I heard it was 2025 now. I'm like, what? I could have edited by then.
That is called The Search for Coffee in That Nebula, right? That's the name of the Voyager documentary. Yeah.
Serenity and I made the poster though.
Oh, really? Good for you.
Yeah. So
congrats.
Cool.
Congrats
it's one of those
being
mosaic,
on a poster.
Mosaic posters with like 10,000 photos on it, but you can see us if you know.
Right, but so is that then when you step back and look, it makes like a big picture of Janeway's face or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So,
I see. That's the power of choice.
So I'm really into Moll now. I think the outfits are great. The costuming's great on Discovery. I liked her costume. I liked her outfit. I liked how in the flashbacks when she's on her own and taking care of herself and not on the run, she's not shiny. But I like that now. Holy crap, they're on the run and there's a jihad on their, what is it called?
I wrote it down. Yeah.
Eager God? Iriga?
I think it's
Iriga. Something like that.
Ergo, the Irga.
The Erga's on them. They're not doing so good, so they're not bathing every day. So she's got this like greasy look.
She's like, that makes her even hotter, huh?
Yeah. Well, I just want to save her. I want her to be okay. And I think in this episode, I see myself as Locke, probably Locke. I've been there, where the manic pixie dream girl assassin invades your life, and you just follow them everywhere, and then shoot your uncle in the shoulder.
That old chestnut. Yeah, we've all been there, man.
It's a trope now, right? You got to shoot the two guards and the uncle, and then be on the run for the rest of your life. It's been done so many times. But I enjoyed it in this case.
When it happened to us, we're old enough that it was original. All right.
Yeah. But back then, you didn't know it was coming really. So now Uncle should just watch out. Especially.
And it's the Eriga. The Eriga. Like the Eringo Bra.
Yep. Eringo Bra. I had to watch this episode with subtitles on the subsequent times I watched it. The first time I watched it, it was kind of like Christopher Nolan with Bane. It was like, I was like, English yet? Or is that still Breen? I don't know. What is he saying? What are they saying? So they definitely went with Christopher Nolan versus like James Cameron. James Cameron has a thing to where you should understand all the dialogue while you're faced 180 degrees away from the screen. You shouldn't have to see it at all. You should still understand it. Whew, this one was rough because I'm a lip reader, of course, and they're Breen, so they got no lips. And it just reinforces what I hear. And then the dialogue was so... So I'm like, half the episode, I was like, but I didn't put on the closed caption until the second time. Then I understood it.
I watched it with the closed caption both times. I find that it's just easier for me to keep track, especially since now we're taking notes for this show, and it helps me focus a little bit, especially on Disco. If I can digress a little bit, since you're mentioning Bane, if your Venn diagram overlaps like the Dark Knight returns and Venture Brothers, you will come to the inescapable conclusion that that Bane sounds like Colonel Gentleman from the Venture Brothers. Anyway,
I love Bane, but not Christopher Nolan Bane. I love Bane from Harley Quinn Bane, the animated series. I love that.
Never
Bane.
seen it.
Oh,
is that the new
Max.
one? Is
yeah,
that the new the new dirty one?
That series is amazing. And I
I
interviewed
tried the first episode.
I interviewed the creators and the writers on the red carpet for Harley Quinn. And I got the scoop. I was the one who got the scoop that Bane was going to have a whole episode dedicated to trying to return his pasta maker in Italy. So I was only allowed to ask one question, and that was my question.
Oh, there you go.
About Bane. Okay. Albie from Thinking Outside the Box. I have to ask, Bane. Every moment he's on screen is bold. What can we expect from the character of Bane in season 4?
Oh my God, you're in for a treat. We have a fully dedicated Bane episode, and we're gonna see him go to Italy. For those of you who have been following the saga of the pasta maker, you are gonna have some resolution with that.
Thank you.
Thank you all so much.
Yeah. Bane, Breen, it's all the same, right?
Breen. Now we know more about the Breen. They're not just stuntmen in masks to save on makeup costs. They're actually jellyfish.
Right, and they weren't the leftover costumes from Jedi either.
I like these masks they had. They look like they could be like foam core, like replicated by cosplayers easily.
They were evocative of the DS9 version of the Breen masks. One thing that I've always, when people speculated what the Breen looked like, because those masks had such a long snout, a lot of people online speculated whether or not they were some kind of canine humanoid hybrid, because we see a lot of different, especially, have you noticed, it's not so much in Star Trek, although we do have the lizard people.
Lizard people.
Do you remember Andromeda, the other Gene Roddenberry series?
I watched most of it until I found out about Kevin Sorbo.
But it seemed like every single species on that had some kind of Earth animal analog.
Yeah,
like there was the Batgirl and the porcupine guy, and I'm just making stuff up now, but I do remember distinctly like somebody looked like a mole. It's just like
Gemini, Becca Valentine, crushes.
Gotcha. Okay, so I'm glad that I could do that for you.
Yeah.
So a mole. Somebody looked like a mole in this one too.
Mole guy, that guy. I think it was the same guy, wasn't it? I don't know. But then people complain about I don't want to wear the makeup anymore. So then most of them turned human by the mid series.
They say we all want to look as good as Elijah Dushku. How come the ship looks more human than anybody else on the show?
Lexi Doing.
It's Lexa Doig. That's who it was, or was it Elijah?
She's Faith.
Oh, okay, so Alexa Doig. So they had two hot girls. I forgot all about Alexa Doig.
Yeah, I can't. That's Michael Shank's wife. Wow, from SG-1. Going deep.
Elijah Dushku. She was in Jason
Buffy.
X. Jason X.
No.
Yes.
That was Lexi Doing.
Oh, okay. I guess
that's
now
my favorite Jason movie.
Me too.
we got to cover that at some point. Let us know. Let us know, crew. What are we doing? If
now
we get a bad roll, that might be the request.
Jason's X mask was 10 times better than the Breen masks that we saw here.
Yeah, you didn't like them. I like the costuming here. I really did.
No, I didn't mind the Breen costuming. I mean, like I said, it was subtly evocative of what we saw in DS9. So they were, given context, recognizably Breen. Another problem I have with Disco, besides the ultra plastic appliances, is just how generic most of the aliens look. But I think that might be the current era of Trek has that problem, because I feel like the character design for what we now know as the Breen for Locke mirrors very closely an alien that we saw in the third season of Picard. I think it was one that Worf fought when he was on the planet with Rafi. Very similar, but I don't know what kind of alien that was supposed to be. But I don't know.
I think I'm a little biased because I religiously watched the show. It was hosted by Mackenzie Westmore and it was like the special effects makeup competition show, Face Off. And two of the judges on that show are actually the people doing the makeup on this show. So I can't forgive them for the Klingons because obviously, I mean, look at that. But I like a lot of their other choices.
All right.
Glenn Hattrick, and I can't think of the other guy's name.
I guess, it's all a matter of taste. So
Yeah.
But I have some problems with next gen makeup in general as well. So
I got a lot of
it's
problems with
long-standing
you
problem.
people.
I got a lot of problems with your makeup over there. What does it say for Discovery when the most recognizable aliens are the Orions and they're just humans painted green, huh?
I like humans painted green, by the way. That's a thing of mine. But
well, I mean, Susan Oliver. Hello.
Susan Oliver. Ooh, I can't wait till we get there. We got to get there. We got to get there. We got to get to the first episode. We'll get there. We'll get there. Susan Oliver. She'll make me watch Andy Griffith's show. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm.
So can you tell me, why did Moll and Locke fall in love besides the fact that he let her see his face? I don't know if my mind wandered both times I watched the episode. I admit to the second time watching it before we had this show, I kind of dozed off and had to rewind. And I might have just been a little less focused because it just was not compelling in any way. And I just can't figure out what their connection was beyond, hey, Green Eye, let me see your true face.
I think Moll was trying to take advantage of Locke and, get a man on the inside, like she said, to make her cutting the dilithium easier. But I think she actually did fall for him. Because until this episode, I wasn't convinced. I thought she was using him the whole time. Because, us men were like dumb puppies at certain stages in our life when we have too much testosterone and not enough cerebellums.
Not enough brains.
Not enough brains. So we follow our instincts and not our logic. So I think he was guilty of that. But I think that they really did fall in love. One question I had was... when Moll said to Locke, before he showed her the jelly bean face, was, you've seen the worst parts of me that I hate. What is she talking about?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe that was off camera. Maybe she got a bad tattoo and he was macking on her and she's like, no, don't lift my shirt there. Oh, you saw it. Oh, I was young. I was impressionable. Okay. I was a big fan of The Greatest American Hero. It seemed like a good idea at the time. So,
how does that song go?
Believe it or not, George isn't at home.
There, God, feel so free.
So you were talking about
away on a wing and a prayer.
Who could it be? You know what? It's funny because,
believe it or not, it's just me.
I was. This is apropos of nothing, but it's funny we're singing that. I was supposed to be watching, I don't know, maybe Encounter at Farpoint in prep for our first show, and for whatever reason, I saw that Greatest American Hero was on Peacock, and I watched the pilot of Greatest American Hero instead. So.
Is it high def?
High enough def.
Okay.
Yeah, Connie Selica looks good either way. So.
Yeah, I'll have to watch that again. Wow,
yeah.
What was the guy's name? That was the FBI agent, the actor.
Oh, that was Robert Culp.
Robert Culp.
The late Robert Culp.
Star back then. Yes.
The late great Robert Culp.
And then of course, Greatest American Hero from Blue Lagoon. Is that 1 or 2? I'm not sure.
No, William Catt was in Blue Lagoon. You're thinking of Willie Ames.
Willie Ames. But then the second one was Greatest American Hero, I think.
I didn't see the second one, so.
Oh, yeah, I did. Not as good as the first, but no Drew Barrymore. No, not Drew Barrymore. Who is it?
Are you thinking of Princess Pain in the Buffalo?
Yes.
Yeah, Brooke Shields.
Brooke Shields, that's it.
Yeah.
She told me no. Anyway, I don't blame her.
Yeah, we've tried to get her on the Quantum Leap podcast. She says no fucking way.
Nope. She said no. F you people. I was like, okay, I liked you. I bought the jeans you advertised.
So can we get back to the breen face? The breen
The
face.
green face. I liked what they did. I got to give credit to the visual effects team that when they transitioned from the physical mask to the computer generated mask, it almost matched. It was really close. Like I could tell the second time because I was looking for it, but the first time I couldn't tell. And I thought that was really cool that they did that. The face was still kind of but what are you going to do with a jelly face?
Well, I don't think they're jelly. I think they're energy. They look to me like if Ryan Reynolds came on the scene as Green Lantern, they look like one of his ring constructs, right?
Yeah.
They look like he was just made. They're the willpower of Ryan Reynolds as Hal Jordan. I'm thinking, are they transitioning into like energy beings, like Organians, and maybe that's why they're eschewing the flesh part of themselves?
I did a little research.
So, that's always a dangerous thing.
They're like a sea creature, like a jelly sea creature. But they're humanoids that evolved from a jelly sea creature, but they can form a hard protective shell when needed, almost like like a octopus can change its color and shape and size. They can grow a hard face or a hard shell as
wait, where did you read this? Like
it was from the interview with the writer, Cisco. What was his name? Carlos Cisco.
Well, then why, if they evolved from, I'm so confused. So they're evolving into harder, more corporeal beings then.
The hard shell is just a defense mechanism that they had, but they don't need it anymore. And it's like shunned upon in their society. The reason that there's two different faces is because they came up with the jelly breen idea after they had already shown Locke's makeup on screen.
I see.
So they were like, how do we do both? And then they solved that problem by them having the ability to have two different faces.
Okay. The many faces of Breen.
Yes. But it makes sense. I wouldn't want to watch Locke just be a jelly guy the whole time.
I think that's kind of neat. It's like Zoidberg without his shell. he becomes just like a disgusting jelly blob.
Yeah. I felt real love between the two of them. At least
I'm glad one of us did.
Yeah, the whole Bonnie and Clyde thing, but less psychopath, more like they're really trying to escape. The only problem I have with that whole story, right? Huge galaxy, 4 quadrants, right? And
that we know of. Yeah.
At least 4 quadrants that in our part anyway, in our neighborhood. There are so many places they could just disappear and fit in. They don't need to do any of this. The
Araga begs to differ because they'll hunt you down forever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever. Like you're that hunty species from the DS9 episode with Miles becoming a friend with the hunty species.
The Hunter of Tosk.
Oh, thank you.
Tosk.
Thank you.
Yes, Tosk. Love Deep Space Nine. So she wants to go to the Delta Quadrant. There's some place in the Delta Quadrant. That is her place where she wants to end up. So what was Picard's girlfriend's name? The Romulan?
Moll. No, that's Locke's girlfriend. Laris? Is it Laris?
Laris and Picard said they were going to meet in a bar in a sunset, so they never did.
Yeah.
I'm not counting on Moll being able to see that place that she's heard about only in stories where she can be safe in the Gamma Quadrant. But that would be nice.
That's her poignant happily ever after that she's just never going to reach those super. Sure, we're going to see the ocean, Mr. Homer. What could have been again a wonderful showcase to make me care about these characters just made them all the more cliched and schmaltzy to me. Okay. Like there's even less center now that there's no mystery. It's completely vapid. Like there's just, yeah. I didn't care if they lived or died before. Now I don't even care if I ever see them again.
Oh man!
I know we're going to.
You're not in the Moll.
I'm not into Moll. We will never have to fight over Moll.
All right, good deal, good deal. So when we go to that Star Trek convention, I'll be in that line paying her $80 for a photo. You'll be
There
like,
you go.
I'm good. I'm good.
I might. Don't worry about it.
Oh well, we'll both be in the Sinequa Martin Green line, though. I think.
Oh, for sure. Her,
sure.
I would. Yeah, no, I'd murder you over
Yeah.
that.
Sarah, you'd murder me over a lot less.
Well, I mean, come on,
what
don't
does
paint
it say
me.
about an
Don't paint me
episode
so bad.
named Mirrors that we're talking about the relationship between Moll and Locke? They dropped the ball on everything Mirror Universe. I felt almost that they used the ISS Enterprise from the Mirror Universe. I felt it was just like insulting that they would bring that up and not use it.
Well, they did use the set. What I really would have loved, and I know it's not going to happen again because they were just using a standing set, but you know where I'm going with this.
The same thing I would have loved. That's what I was hoping for. Why didn't they do that, Chris?
Right.
They have the power.
They have the power. I mean, it's such a ring.
They have
All
the
they need is
pen.
some plywood. They need some plywood.
They don't
and,
even need
and some
that.
orange
They just
paint.
need to go down to Ticonderoga. How far down from Canada is it? It's not that far. They would say yes in a heartbeat, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Where are you going with this, Chris? I have no idea what you're talking about.
Give us old school TOS Mirror ISS Enterprise. Show me the stain where McCoy spilled acid on his desk. Like, why is McCoy fucking around with the acid while making medicines? I don't get it. But maybe he was trying to clear the throat of a Horta or something. That's Horta medicine. Yeah. He was that's a Horta home recipe is what that is.
It's
like
that whole numbing spray thing.
Yeah, exactly. It's like chloroseptic for Horta.
Yeah.
So
that would have been amazing. I would have gave it 7 out of 5 if they went to that Enterprise. And they couldn't figure it out. And what happened? I don't know. And then they could have. Why didn't they?
I don't know. I mean, they did get she's getting all weepy over the fact that Spock sat at the science station. But yeah,
that was one moment, maybe to placate fans a little, but God, it was.
But you got to think now. Just think like logically in universe. I guess they've sort of hand waved all the aesthetic changes away with that throwaway line in the Canada episode of Strange New Worlds when the Romulan agent says all of this should have happened in 1992. She's proven that we're living in an altered timeline, and it's probably because the temporal Cold War and something like that. So it's still prime, but not, and it's shifted. It's whatever. How would that have affected the Mirror Universe, right? Because it's a temporal Cold War in our timeline. Their timeline should not be affected, as as witnessed by Enterprise. They found the Defiant that faded out from the Tholian web, and it was the same. So yeah, it should. Although the Gorn on that were pretty execrable, but
they'll fix it in post. They'll remaster that at some point. They did the best they could at the time.
Yeah, I guess.
All of this has happened before, and all of it will happen again. I think that's from a different show. I'm not sure. But how many fanboys would have been watching Discovery and when they heard about this, and how many people would lose their mind, and how much discussion it would be of how and why if they had just done that and went to the Mirror Darkly, and just found out about that. But I don't know. They just so many missed opportunities, and it was almost an insult to use the Enterprise and not have a story to go along with it. They just used the sets.
They tried to have a story that went along with it. They tried to make a hopeful story about the power of choice. Power of choice, once again. And this
What's
is where...
the choice? To not tell a good story? That is a choice. That is a choice.
The choice of the refugees from the Terran Empire after the Empire fell. Because I believe, I haven't seen the DS9 episodes in a while, but they talk about how the Terran Empire fell and humanity became basically a second fiddle race to everybody else because they needed to highlight their characters. So all you had was Sisko playing Smiley, who was kind of second fiddle to Kira's monster lesbian mirror counterpart.
Intendant
Yes.
Kira.
Yeah,
Yes.
Intendant Kira.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can't wait till we get there.
Good stuff.
Yeah,
But
Smiley was O'Brien, and then
no, Smiley was Cisco.
oh, you might want to check your facts on that.
Really? I thought Cisco was Smiley.
No, Cisco kept calling Miles Smiley.
Oh, okay. Then it's been a while. So it shows you, but I do believe that so it kind of tracks from the end of Mirror Mirror in the original series to the history that they give you in DS9 of how the Terran Empire fell because of Kirk's influence on Mirror Spock. So it's like they took the Enterprise and tried to flee as the Empire was collapsing, and they found a way to our universe through this wormhole. And they were able to escape and assume identities.
The invisible wormhole.
Yeah, the invisible wormhole. And they were able to just go native. Something Moll and Locke can't do, but refugees from the Terran Empire, from the Mirror Universe can just do it like that. They can even join Starfleet, like Admiral
They join Starfleet, right?
Yeah. Branch Admiral Cho, I'm sorry.
Vice Admiral Cho, and they go back to the Enterprise to hide one of these puzzle pieces.
That was Cho that did that. Yeah.
That Cho, did that. Oh my goodness. Shoehorning everything in to get that to kind of maybe make sense on a chart, but narratively as a story,
it's tough. It's tough. No wonder why she hit it here. What was the lesson we had to learn this time? I don't know. You have to tech the tech. You have you have to learn about the power of choice. I just yeah. It was a heavy lift. It was a heavy lift. And
I really want to enjoy these, right? I really, really, really want to enjoy these.
Did you notice when Michael was making the red herring and putting her tech inside that locket so that
what was that about?
Well, she was trying to get the upper hand on Locke and say, so you got to have a decoy. I have the real one, and just read it. It's got our tech inside of it. Obviously, it's the clue, not the thing you have in your hand. Meanwhile, his probably has our tech inside of it too. But it's a locket, and they have that locket open for a while. And I'm just staring at the picture. I was wondering if you knew, because I thought it might be maybe a callback to the TOS episode. Maybe we'll see maybe it'd be, Skari Sulu or Belly Uhura. I don't know. But it wasn't.
That'd be nice. I couldn't make it out, and I have a huge screen, so.
Heard that about you.
I don't know. Yeah. All the better to watch Star Trek with.
Yes.
Yeah, I just thought that was like to give Burnham something to do in the episode.
Oh, okay.
like she put the thing from our universe into the thing from the other universe, so they could scan it, and it would be a thing from our universe, but it didn't have to be anything. And how are they separating her being from the other universe and that locket? And did he scan it? And what was it?
Right. And how does that locket fit into the little puzzle box that they're creating? It doesn't.
Is it going to come back? Does it mean something?
I don't know. I think and then of course they had to make it disco-centric by saying that they had help from a Kelpian rebel to get them through the wormhole. Why would a Kelpian do anything to help the Terran Empire in any way? I mean, Kelpians are literally food for Giorgio. Like, why would he do anything besides try to destroy that ship if he had any kind of wherewithal whatsoever?
My thought was he's kind of like the Spock that's trying to change everything. So he's trying to save the people that want to be saved or changed. I don't know.
I think it's because reasons so that they can allude to Saru and make him part of the lore. Yeah. And that sir, I do not countenance. I do not buy that, sir.
This was on the dedication plate, right? The story that they're reading. When did they have time to change that while they were fleeing?
I don't know that it was on. She said that she read something. I was wondering, when the hell did she have time to read all of the personnel files for everybody on this freaking ship? Like how, where, when did it happen? I mean, it was one action piece after another and nothing but dire countdowns and firefights. There was not any breathing space whatsoever. So I just don't get where they would have had the time. It's just to make a nice ending. Maybe she was walking around that ship after they got out of the wormhole. I don't know. I really don't know.
How did your favorite captain, Captain Rainer? How did he know that the Enterprise was coming through, or a ship, just by the numbers that represented that song from his culture? Oh, by the way, that was the 47 in this episode.
Oh, was it?
It was like verse 4, section 7 or something, whatever he said.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's funny. I think that I screwed up the I screwed up the synopsis. I called him Commander Kyle instead of Commander Rayner. Once again, my Green Lantern bias coming through. Kyle Rayner is my favorite Green Lantern, so we'll leave that for the comment section. We'll see if anybody picks up on that on the YouTube channel.
Yeah,
we'll see. It'll be funny. So yeah, Commander Rayner. I think it was again to show that Michael is magic. And that she's it's like the other part of this thing is Rayner having to learn that you really got to get to know your crew so that you can pull yourself through and they can help you. You don't have to do it alone, blah, 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 blah. So I know obscure, what's the name of his race?
Kelpian? No.
Kelpian. Yeah, I want to say that's Saru's Kelpian.
That's Saru. Kazon? No, that's different.
No.
Klingons with bad hair.
Whatever.
Calamari? Yeah.
Calamari. It's an obscure Calamari folktale because, of course, Michael knows obscure Calamari folktales. She read it right after she finished Alistair the Looking Glass for the 8th time. Or whatever.
the folklore, the folk song it must have had to be about, okay, we're about to bring a starship out of a wormhole, so you need to widen the opening to the wormhole.
With antimatter.
Right? Right. Well, however
you somehow do it with drum beats. They do it with drum beats.
You just had to know that they were coming and they needed a bigger hole than when they went in. That sounded bad. But you know what I'm saying? That song had to be about that. Otherwise, there's no way for them to know a starship is coming.
It was banned on commercial radio on Calamari that you weren't allowed to play that song.
Oh man, yes.
You had to wait till after Safe Harbor, or what is it? Well, you went into Safe Harbor. I forget which it was.
9 p.m. maybe.
Yeah.
But oh my goodness,
that was a midnight. That was a midnight special.
So now, one beautiful thing in the episode was that one shot of the Enterprise. I did like that after the wormhole closed, and for that 3 seconds or so, that was really nice. It looked nice.
And then the wormhole again exploded
something with it
or something. Well, they did. They put they put OO and Detmer on it, and they're going to take it off to mothballs at Section 31.
And what's the main rule about movies, television? Show, don't tell. They did not show them one bit.
No, it's the bridge crew. What do you think? That they have time to talk about the bridge crew? We need to introduce Captain Ears so that we have somebody to fight Burnham, because everybody on the bridge crew is just so enamored of her. There's no hard surface for her to push against. So we need to introduce a character to have some kind of tension. Otherwise, it's just the giant disco love fest. Don't you get narrative storytelling, sir?
Oh, okay. My mistake. So it's Ditmar and Awoshikun, right?
Detmer.
Flying the Enterprise back to Federation headquarters.
Right? Yeah.
Okay, I saw Federation HQ or whatever in the second time when I read it.
Yeah, that's exactly where they're taking it. Not to Section 31, but to Federation HQ.
Show them. They're already there. They already have the bridge. They've already filmed days on this bridge.
Maybe that'll be the beginning of the next episode.
Maybe. You think they're going to pick up on this thread, or no?
Maybe it'll be a side quest, and it'll be OO and Detmer doing their own thing to find a piece of the action, like Bella Oxnix.
I want to see.
Hey, Krakow! They're going to find Krakow.
I was sad that we didn't see that, and I was sad like they seem to be written off of the season off screen, like something happened that we're not aware of. I don't know.
Yeah, we haven't seen either of them very much this season. Mm-hmm. They're focusing on other members of the bridge crew. for whatever. You finally know who Oo and Detmer are,
Yeah.
and you actually maybe have an affinity for them. And now they've been completely sidelined for 3 new characters that we have no idea who the fuck they are.
Gallo. I want to know more about
Christopher
them.
and Linus are the only 2 that
Christopher,
seems, yeah.
Linus, love Linus, need the Linus show. Gallo, I don't know anything about them, but I want to.
I like her wine. Her brother Ernest and Julio make a nice shot of wine.
And I'm not sure who the other lady was.
There's a Bajoran, I think.
Was she?
Yes, I think she was Bajoran.
Yes, but I don't know her name.
She's that Bajoran one.
Well, hopefully she'll have an episode coming up in one of the 5
Hopefully she has an episode coming up where she tries to stab the president. And she calls him a spoon. She calls her a spoonhead, and it'll be great. You goddamn spoony. I'm sorry, you prophet's damn spoony. We need a T-shirt that says "You prophet's damn spoony." Get on that, Scott Madison.
Yes, get on that, Scott Madison. Today.
Scott Madison, PlanetRiseCreative.com. He made all of the wonderful graphics for our show. If you're looking for graphics, look no further than PlanetRiseCreative.com.
I still have to
now,
upload all those.
Back to our podcast.
I still have to upload all those finals everywhere. I will. Yeah. Man, I wanted. You know what this episode taught me? Book. We need more book. If they do Legacy somehow,
you said do twice now.
I know. Book has to travel back in time through a wormhole. I'll take the wormhole for that. And like 7 in one of the first episodes, maybe the first episode of her series, they find this shuttle with Book on it, and Book becomes part of their crew. I would love Book to be on that.
No, what they're going to do is it's going to be you have to have the guy who played Burnham's boyfriend in the first season. Why am I blanking on his name? Who went to Section 31? Yeah, remember he turned out to be the secret Klingon?
Yeah, man, I haven't rewatched him.
Right. So you completely forget that she once had a boyfriend who turned out to be a secret Klingon that was altered to look like a human.
Instead, I don't know.
And so now he's going to travel in the future and be on Seven's crew because they want to continuously disappoint you, Albie. Also, the name of that show is not Star Trek Legacy. It's Star Trek Wishful Thinking Ain't Never Gonna Happen. That's what the name of that show is.
I can't wait till Star Trek Wishful Thinking Never Gonna Happen.
Ain't Never Gonna Happen.
Ain't Never Gonna Happen debuts. They need to do something with that Captain 7, I'm telling you. Just saying. I would follow her anywhere.
Captain
I don't think
7
you
and
can
7.
get tickets for that line, but I would try.
Anyway, so mirror.
Book is wasted on this series. Just my saying. That's how good David is. So what's going to happen now?
I don't know.
Got 5 more episodes. What?
Well, we got to ask. What was the whole Culber thing?
I wrote Culber, question mark, exclamation point, question mark, exclamation point, question mark. They had a really close heart-to-heart in the bar and said nothing.
It was all about, the power of spirituality and science and how you can come together from both fronts. And I don't know. I'm trying, man. I'm really trying.
I was interested to see them talk later because I thought watching Culber having trouble was because in an earlier episode he said, "I remember everything. That's my job." Mm-hmm. And I thought he would be remembering the stuff from Janai. What was his name?
Janal.
I thought he would be remembering like past things from Janal's life, and those would be haunting them, and he would have to deal with it or something. But in this, he's just like, that was weird.
Yeah, right. And that's my scientific explanation. It's just weird. I think it was a heavy-handed way to get to the even heavier-handed moral of the episode.
Choice.
It's about shaping our own futures. And I guess whether you go at it spiritually or scientifically, as long as you're questing and thinking about it and questioning, it doesn't matter from what basis you're doing that, you're still somehow evolving and moving forward.
Questioning is good.
That's the way I chose to interpret that. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm putting more there than there is. I don't know.
More there.
But I think
Aether.
they're trying to give a bigger framework for the progenitors. So it's kind of a big philosophical trip because they even have a recap between Burnham and Book about what did this piece teach us about ourselves? Why do you suppose they're doing this? Oh, I guess because there's a 4 to 5 part moral lesson that we're all going to learn over the course of this season. And each piece is going to lead to one of those moral lessons, like don't kill strange animals. That's moral lesson number 1. It's just
I felt bad for Wilson Cruz and Mary Weissman because they got handed this script for that scene, and they're like, they'd have to be like, there's no words here. It's all filler, right? Really?
At least they got to do some stage business and have some bourbon.
Yeah.
So and Linus was playing a nice piano, right? You had that going.
Oh, Linus on piano, I liked. Linus on piano. I'm
wish,
very much becoming a Linus fan.
I really wish it would have been more like the end of Lower Decks when they're trying to play the harpsichord after they have the Mark Twain off or whatever it was.
My gentleman friend.
The funniest line in all of Lower Decks when he's trying to play the harpsichord. He's like, "Wow, this is really hard.
This is really hard." Were they both supposed to be what, Beethoven or something?
Yeah, or Mozart. I don't even know.
Mozart, something.
Yeah, it reminded me of Trelane. Anyway.
I can't wait till we get to Lower Decks. That'll be great.
Oh my
we
goodness!
We can do some Lower Decks. So that
if you want to see us, if you out there watching want to see us disagree, just wait until we get to Lower Decks. Holy crap, that's gonna be.
We can both agree that Boimler's awesome.
Oh, it's gonna be a scene, man. It's gonna be a scene,
and that we have lifelong crushes on Tindy. I don't know. Whew. Okay, so, ow. I don't think I'll watch this episode again, ever.
Not even for the beautiful hero shots of the Enterprise?
No, because they just pulled it out of mothballs to insult us.
I guess so.
I have a theory. Because, like Michelle Paradise, she did the originals. I really like the originals, which was a spinoff to Vampire Diaries. She can do good. I think everybody can do good. I think there's so many television shows out there that there has to be the possibility that for some reason the writer's room got together for a television show. I'm not saying this one, but there has to be one out there where they said, what if we just make it really bad? And like every decision we think we should make, we do the opposite. We George Costanza it. And we go, this would be really great to do, but we're not going to do that. We're going to do the opposite. And we're just going to make people really mad. And then they got the opportunity to do Star Trek. They never watched Star Trek. They still don't watch Star Trek. They don't know what Star Trek is. They put a Star Trek sticker on a police helmet with a siren on the top, right? So I think if it ever happened anywhere where they could actually have 5 seasons of a show and intentionally make it so you cannot enjoy it, I think that's what's happening here. That's my working theory. I could be wrong, but it fits.
Listen,
it fits.
But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, hey, it's a work in progress. It's a theory. We have yet to prove anything. It's still unfolding before us. So
we have 5.5 seasons of what would that be called? The circumstantial evidence, right?
Yep. So I mean, all points might be pointing, or all signs might be pointing to a certain conclusion. But don't jump to that conclusion just yet. Either. I mean, hey, I think I'm a little bit more forgiving of Disco because I expect exactly 0 from it. So it's impossible to disappoint me when it comes to the show. If I get a nice smile from Sonequa, I'm happy. So, I that might be vapid and sexist and crude or whatever, but at this point, like, she to me is the bright light on the show. So I just like to see her happy on it. Mm-hmm. And sometimes Vance is pretty good too.
For me, Sonequa is back this week. I did not see Burnham at all anymore.
Gotcha.
So my one episode where I saw Burnham was Face the Strange. So
Strange Facers.
I think if she's not given good material, she's not going to do good. I'm going to check my notes. You check your notes.
Okay.
Vamp for me for a second.
Oh, I mean, should we hit it or should we just fly?
Explain that scene to me, will you?
Cringy.
That's your two catchphrases, right? Is that what was
Yep,
going on?
because every captain needs a catchphrase in New
Mhm.
Trek, because because Kirk had one, of
Mm.
course. He didn't have one. See,
He
that's the
didn't.
point of what I was saying.
Age.
Yeah, I
Age.
was being facetious.
Facetious. Does that mean full
Kirk,
of That's what that means, right?
kind of, yeah. I
Okay.
was being sarcastic. I was being,
Sarcastic show.
yeah.
Oh, there
So
was one shot in the episode of the shuttle when it first enters the nebula that looked unfinished. It looked like it was done in Photoshop and not with their
I
unlimited
I don't
boosters.
know. I don't know what that shuttle.
Okay.
At first, I thought it
Okay.
was book ship, and then it wasn't book, but it looked like book ship inside. I don't know. Again,
It-
this was the show of standing sets. Whatever standing set we have, just use it.
this is a bottle episode, right?
Yeah, yeah. No,
Pretty
it's just
much.
it's a bottle. That's how I open the show. It's a bottle
Yeah.
episode of Strange New Worlds. It's just on Disco.
Okay.
Yeah.
Disappointment. Okay. Culber, what?
I think we went over those. Yeah, disappointment and Culper. What? Yes, I think we covered both.
Yeah. Yep. I like the scene with the boots when they were talking about shining the boots. And
I don't even remember that scene.
it was Locke said, my uncle's coming down, I have to shine my boots. And she was like, is that a metaphor? And then Locke said, no, he just really likes shiny boots. I was like, that's funny.
Okay,
I
I think
that.
I think I dozed through that part this time. I remember watching it last night and seeing that, but tonight
I got a
think I
chuckle
dozed.
out of
Yeah.
it. I like the two characters. I like the two
Okay,
characters.
good. I mean, you're allowed to like them. It's okay.
I need to like things in this show. The guards bump me. Okay. The town I live in is a very safe town. It's always in the top 10 list of safe towns in the United States, right? When I was watching this episode, like Moll and Locke are like doing their cutesy thing, and then guards are coming. Other guards are coming, just like Locke, right? So he starts to like shackle her up,
Mm-hmm.
and the two guards just walk by. That's never going to happen. They're bored out of their minds. They're on this big hangar ship. Nothing ever happens. He's locking somebody up. They're going to come over and be like, hey, what's going on? Just like if you get pulled over in my town, there's 6 cop cars within 2 minutes just because they need something to do.
I have a theory about that.
Is it bunnies?
They walk past because there's no peripheral vision in those green masks. So it's only by the sheerest of coincidences that they didn't walk right into them.
It took me to my second viewing to realize that they weren't just making out in front of everybody, that there was like those cloaking shields. I didn't get that the first time.
They were doing a Chewbacca, like pretend you're locked up kind of thing. Yeah, yeah. So
okay. EPS conduits. Okay. This is the ISS Enterprise from the TOS era, right? Maybe even before, right?
No, it's from after the TOS era. It's that Enterprise though, because it's after the Terran Empire has fallen. So it's after Kirk was there and gone.
So it's Pike's and then Kirk's. And
it's Kirk's Enterprise. It's Kirk's Enterprise.
Why are there hollow emitters in sickbay?
I took that to believe that Moll and Locke brought those in.
Like it was in a bag and she stuck it on the wall.
Exactly. There's a big suction cup on the other side of it.
So Robert Picardo could not have been in it.
No, there is no EMH these days. There are hollow emitters in it because the show wanted to have the weird Ducks Gallery bullshit of the firefight. That's where the pew-pews come in. Pew, 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 pew,
I almost liked that for a second because it reminded me of, I think it's Total Recall, where Arnold has a watch that triples them, doubles them up, and they don't know where to shoot. So,
you know what it reminded me of? You remember? I forget the name of the cartoon, but maybe it was The Way Outs. We're gonna go way out, way out. And they had Multi-Man, and he could just like multiply.
Yes,
that was one of my favorite cartoons. So I thought of Multi-Man and The Way Outs. We're gonna
go
The Way Out, way
I haven't thought of that song in forever, but I knew it.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Okay, and we'll give that away. Man, now that I talk about it out loud, I want to give it a lower rating than I wrote down. I really do.
I never write down the rating
like,
until after we talk.
It was. What do we do before we wrap up? We do other things, right?
We do other things. Let's do the other things. Yeah, because we're talking in circles now about.
Yeah. Do you got anything else before we do the things?
No. I think we're good. I think we're good.
Okay. And remember, this part, they're already in the patron. They're already part of our crew. So I don't know if we even need to read that stuff. Do we?
Yeah. No. But we have the episode crush. Who's your episode crush?
Oh, my episode crush, hands down, no exception, Moll.
Okay.
Man, whatever it is, does it for me. I like bad girls.
All right. You're a bad Morel who likes bad girls. My episode crush would have to be it's tough. It's really tough. Did I mention it's tough? It's really tough.
So you weren't really into Basic Instinct and
No, I really wasn't. So my episode crush is going to be the jazzy song that Linus was playing on the piano. That's my episode.
All right, yeah.
All right.
I can see that.
It also happened to be my favorite part of the episode. So
it was a nice part. I wish they would have had him practice on how to play the piano. Actually touch the keys. That would have been great. But I'll take what I can get. I really will. My crush reminded me about another Moll and Locke thing. I like that his uncle was dissing him about his hard shell face, because apparently it takes so much of their energy, it makes their brain less functional, so it kind of dumbs them down.
Okay, so this is all stuff that you heard from the writer that never made it onto screen.
No, that was on screen. That was words on screen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you have to put it on closed caption because it's all like. But if you put the closed captioning on, you get that. And I was like,
I watched it twice with closed captioning, and I forgot all about it.
Because Locke was kind of playing a little dumb, like puppy dog eyes at Moll. Like that's why I thought Moll was taking advantage of Locke. So that's part of the explanation of that, I think, is that he's keeping the hard shell for her, the candy coated shell on the
he is. Yeah, he is.
Yep. What are those parts? I've showed you the parts of me that I hate.
I tell you, it's the bad tattoo.
No, my brain went to like, I don't know.
Wow, that escalated quickly.
Like, what if she's got hemorrhoids or something?
That was good, but the thing is, also, it's just like, how often do you study your own? Like, how does she know she hates it?
How does she hate it? I was like, what are they showing each other in that shuttle? Holy crap! But whatever it was good enough to get the jelly bean face going on. So I don't know. Okay, what else do we do? We got crushes.
Trivia. I got a trivia question for you.
Okay. Oh, you asked me?
Did we do a favorite part of the episode? Is it Moll for you?
Before the trivia?
Yeah, it's before the trivia, because I was Tinkly Linus's. I guess yours is Moll.
Yeah.
All right, on to trivia.
No, my favorite part of the episode. In an episode called Mirrors, with Mirror Universe stuff going on, with the ISS Enterprise, none of that wasted, was the relationship backstory flashbacks from Moll's perspective of Locke and Moll meeting and falling in love.
So the boring part is your favorite part. Got it.
Noted.
I already told you.
It's Linus.
Yeah, it's Linus.
Playing the piano.
You're so incensed about this episode or distracted by Moll that you're not even listening anymore. It's time for me to ask you a trivia question. All right, get lively, pal. We got a show to do. All right?
Sounds great.
To quote Elwood Blues, get bright, pal. We got a show to do. In a Voyager episode, what entity is created when Tuvok and Neelix merge as the result of a transporter accident? I swear to God, these scenic cards are the most remedial Star Trek.
Yes, but hey, it's got to be for everybody. So listeners, crew members, cadets, lieutenants, captains, us. I like. They're not easy for everybody. You had to put in the work and watch those 900 episodes a few times each. Tuvix.
This one. That's right. Okay, now I know the answer to this one. I hope that you do. In the movie The Search for Spock, why is the Genesis planet unstable?
Protomatter.
You got it.
Woo, protomatter.
I used protomatter in the Matrix. It was the only solution to some problems. So, like your father,
shortcuts.
You cheated. Mm-hmm. And I love the way she dresses him down on that when she's
Robin
just
Curtis
like
or Kirstie Alley.
It was Robin Curtis that dresses him down because that's in Search
but
for
I
Spock.
mean, if you had to choose.
Oh my God, Kirstie Alley in her prime as Saavik? Holy crap! Are you kidding me?
Should I wait till Star Trek 3 to tell my theory?
Can I say now who I'm thinking of? Again, this escalated very quickly.
I'm glad this is behind the paywall. Ooh, I mean, a bonus episode.
A bonus, yeah.
Ooh,
yeah, it is.
Bonus.
All right. Ooh. All right. So, were you going to say something, or
my theory is
Alley or Robin Curtis? You didn't answer the question.
Saavik or Saavik? I would go with the first Saavik, but if I had to real life hang out with one or the other, it would be Robin Curtis.
All right.
Yeah.
Take that, Kirstie Alley.
But my theory is Saavik is not a unique name. And just like there's 2 Johns, 2 Bills, 2 Glorias, 2 Bob, Ted, Steve, and Alice. How does that work?
It's very lonely being the only Christopher. I can tell you that. Yeah.
Lieutenant Christopher.
So there are 2
Saviks. 2 different Saaviks. I really do.
Oh, was one Mirror Universe Saavik?
No, just different. Just 2 different people named Saavik.
No, you realize that in a monoculture, like every Star Trek monoculture, there are never 2 people with the same name on a planet. They all have the same haircut, and they all speak the same language, but they never have the same name.
Because Saavik in Star Trek 2 is part Romulan. Saavik in Star Trek 3 and 4, fully Vulcan.
But in Star Trek 2, her being part Romulan is just in the books.
That's true.
Yeah. So it's never really established as canon on screen.
No. But she cries.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Spock died.
Spoilers.
She cried. She cried when Wash died too.
Yeah. Hey, spoilers.
All right, here we go. Stephen Collins appeared as Will Decker in Star Trek The Motion Picture, and Catherine Hicks appeared as Gillian Taylor in The Voyage Home. In what long-running family drama did they star as a long-married couple?
That would be Seventh Heaven.
You got all 3 of them, sir.
Woo! And the reason I know that is because I like Star Trek, so I checked out that show, and I was like, not for me. But it's cool that Catherine Hicks is in it, and Decker.
Yeah. It's before his name became Mud.
Him too? Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah, look it up.
Ooh, do I want to though? Okay,
Stephen Collins? No, you don't want to look. I
want to finish Andromeda at some point.
Is Stephen Collins in Andromeda, or is that the Kevin Sorbo thing going again?
Kevin Sorbo.
All right, what's your Trek and Tell? Give me a Trek and Tell.
Oh, we got a Trek and Tell.
Yeah,
this is a disco episode.
Disco.
So I got a disco Trek and Tell.
Oh, do you?
Are you ready for this?
Yes. Dun dun dun! Is that your Sonequa action figure?
Sonequa, not the one I showed already.
I think you already showed that.
No, sir.
Is that Amigo? Is that Amigo Sonequa?
I showed this one, which is my action figure looking one.
All right.
I'm not sure. Playmates, yeah. This is the Playmates. This is the Amigo looking one.
I was going to say it's Migo, right?
Yep. Migo-like.
It's Migo-rific is what it is.
Yeah,
I have Migo McCoy right over my shoulder over here. You guys can see my Migo McCoy. His leg is somewhere in a box. Very nice.
Yeah, pick that up at Walmart. So Target had one of them and Walmart had the other.
Cool. Well, I
Yeah.
kept mine to more of a mirror themed because this was a mirror episode.
Okay.
So, because I don't have much stuff, I did find a good book that I recall called Double Double, which was about a Kirk
Ooh.
double, and it was written by Michael Jan Friedman. Now, this is not the Mirror Universe Kirk. What he actually did was take the technology from What Are Little Girls Made Of, and he had it so that another Kirk was generated. You know, the mind your own business, Mr. Spock.
You green-blooded Vulcan piece of crap.
You're half-breed meddling, blah blah blah. But not only did I read this book and enjoy this book, I had the occasion a few years ago to meet the author, Michael Jan Friedman, and
Love Michael Jan Friedman.
he signed it for me.
Wow. What does it say?
It says, Chris, hope, you, enjoyed, it. Michael Jan Friedman. You get that because it's double.
I
Double,
love
double.
love it.
Toil and trouble. So if here's another trivia question. What play does double come from?
Double, Troil and Double. I'm gonna say Hamlet.
Nope.
It's hold on. It's a Shakespeare.
It is Shakespeare.
The Midsummer Nights.
Nope.
Hold on, I can get this. It's the one, the Much Ado About Nothing.
Nope.
Oh, you know which one it is?
It's that one.
The one in the original Klingon. Cyrano de Bergerac. Was that him?
That's exactly in the original Klingon.
Oh,
it was with Roxanne, and he
what
even
was
has
it from? It wasn't Hamlet. I thought that was from Hamlet with the witches and their eyeballs.
It's the Scottish play. You know that from
That's
Quantum
why
Leap.
I don't know the name of it.
Right. So
I don't know that one.
Macbeth.
Ah, you said it. Check this out. I just found this. I looked over at the chair, and this was on the chair.
Whoa! Wow. I can't see what that says. Vulcan's. It's Vulcan's Forge.
Heart.
Vulcan's Heart.
Let me see.
Isn't that
Vulcan's Forge?
No, it's Vulcan's Heart. Is that Michael that wrote that?
By Josh, Sophia Sherman, and Susan Schwartz.
Yeah, no, I don't know it.
But who is it read by? Tim Russ.
Oh, there you go.
Vulcan's Heart read by Tim Russ? I thought I had Vulcan's Heart read by Gates McFadden. Which one does she read that's a Vulcan's Heart one?
No, that was Saavik.
But anytime I'm in the store, any place,
read by Gates McFadden.
Read by Gates McFadden. I would buy that. I would light that candle. Tim Russ. You know what I'm most excited about these? You know how I AI generated my voice to be able to read anything for after I'm gone doing announcements for the QLP.
Mm-hmm.
We can have like pretty soon. I probably now if I worked on it, but we could have like Gates McFadden be the voice of our iPhone or whatever, or read any book we want her to. You know.
Okay, I'm sure Gates is thrilled about that non-licensed piracy of her very essence.
Yeah, piracy of her essence. I would buy that.
All right, so we got to do some final thoughts. What are your final thoughts?
Disappointment. Immense disappointment. Good parts. I enjoyed the love story. They need to give Sonequa a week off, once a season. You know,
never gonna happen.
Give it to the ensemble cast. Give it to somebody else. If this was from Book's perspective, but it still had the everything else, I think it would have been fine. Because in this episode, I liked Book, I liked Moll, and I liked Locke.
All right.
It wasn't written well. It was a mess. It wasn't even a hot mess. It was just like problem solving and trying to connect one episode to the other. The only problem with that is when the whole season is just trying to connect the beginning of the story to the end of the story and not caring what goes in the middle. A good one snuck in there last week.
I mean, we've seen this happen again and again.
I'm genuinely disappointed.
So, but it's not just Disco. It's not just Disco.
Have you watched Deep Space Nine Mirror Universe? Come on.
No, I'm talking about Modern Trek.
Oh, Modern Trek. Yeah, Stranger Worlds. I love Stranger Worlds.
We'll get there. I mean,
we'll get there.
No, I do too. I do too.
The stories make sense. They have a beginning, middle, and end. This had a good beginning. That's what it had. A good beginning. It should have been an episode fully about Moll and Locke. The season is built around them so much. Give them an episode. You don't know what you're doing. You got 5 filler episodes in there. Whoever wrote the part with Moll and Locke, I enjoyed that story. I don't know which one of the writers did it. I'm thinking, since I saw the interview with Cisco, with Carlos Cisco, I'm going to guess Joanna Lee wrote the part with Moll and Locke. I really enjoyed that. That should have been the episode.
All right. I mean, if you care about them.
And what's in that vial? What's that liquid? How is liquid still around?
We'll know next
90,000 years later. How long?
That's one hell of a seal on that stopper.
I'm saying, or it just doesn't evaporate. Some kind of oil, maybe olive oil. What doesn't evaporate in sarcophagi? I forget.
Yeah, I think oil to anoint you.
Yeah.
So they're going to anoint Michael. There, right? It'll be Saint Michael next week. It'll be fine.
It's data that is encoded in DNA, suspended in a liquid, so then they can decode it to watch the video over, but in higher definition.
Got you. And he's going to say, "Watch out for that Fred character. He's a real douche."
that lady with the weird head that seeded all the planets. Hopefully they bring her back. If not, just showing her every episode and the picture of her every episode is a waste.
Oh, they have the rights to that picture, so it's okay. Getty Images doesn't have that one yet. So,
if I were to die tonight, I would have 2 thoughts. 1, I will miss my daughter. 2, at least I don't have to finish watching this season of Discovery.
You won't have any thoughts because you'll be dead.
Right, but if I knew it was coming, like it hurts. Gotcha. It hurts. And I do the whole.
It feels. I mean, that feels like your experience with this episode of Disco. It burns. It burns.
I hated it. It had good parts, but I hated it. I'm sorry. Right. I don't hate, but I hated this episode.
All right. So, how many silly objects would you give it?
Jeez. Don't you want to go first?
Oh, I didn't.
Or am I doing final thoughts and ratings? I'm going first. Okay.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
Final thoughts. I think
that was your final thought. Yeah, I would hope so.
I gotta put my glasses on. Made up word. Word we know. Made up word. Word we know. I am going to give it 1 Owasakad. Asakad? Asakad.
Okay, sure. It's an Asakad.
That's the thing that's not supposed to be in the whatever that the Nodo captain. Yeah. I'm out. 1.
Okay. 1. Okay.
1 turd. 1. And that 1 is only for Moll and Locke.
Oh my goodness.
And the -4 is for wasting our time and everyone's time with the mirror universe. That did not happen.
Well, I think that if I can say anything about Disco this season, they are really trying to make big philosophical swings. And it's most often thudding and clunky. In this, it started okay with Book and his personal log or whatever it is that he was recording. But then it ended up again with just so much platitude that really didn't mean anything about shaping your own future. And I guess they tried to support that with the Moll and Locke story. They're trying to shape their own futures. With the Terran refugees, they managed to shape their own futures. That was the theme of Mirror Mirror. One man can shape the future. And so they really tried. But if you're going to go for philosophy, there's got to be depth. It can't just be platitudes that you would read on a pillow. I would recommend that instead of getting the writers they have, maybe tap James Morrow, who is one of the most brilliant and comedic philosophical writers I've ever had the pleasure of both reading and meeting. Dude is so awesome. He makes me want to study philosophy. But if you're not going to be able to achieve that, then stop with the pop philosophy. And it's low hanging fruit. It's trying to sound profound, but there's absolutely nothing to back it up. So it's a shame, because Mirror Mirror did have a good message, and they did try to extrapolate on that message in this, but they just wholly failed to make it resonate in any way. It was just, well, that's what that episode said, so we're going to make that what this episode says, and it's just going to be sort of a cheap take on that. And it's a shame, because there were so many good elements here with the ISS Enterprise, and I could have gotten to like Locke and Moll. I don't like them at all now. And yet another meaningless step in the chase. Unfortunate. For all that, I'll still give it 2. I'll give it 2 giant blinky space sphincters out of 5. And just for pandering to me with thoughts of the original series and doing callbacks like that. I like that. So, yeah.
My opinion on this episode is go watch In a Mirror Darkly parts 1 and 2.
And, Mirror Mirror.
Yeah.
Yeah. You might want to watch that too.
Crossover. Is that what it's called? I don't know.
Yeah, I did all of the Mirror episodes once. I did it in chronological. So I did Mirror Mirror. I didn't do Mirror Mirror. I did In a Mirror Darkly. I did Mirror Mirror. I did all of the DS9 ones. There is no Mirror Universe episode of TNG.
No. Closest they get is maybe in Parallels or Yesterday's Enterprise. But they're not in the Mirror Universe. They're just slightly different.
Yeah.
And what else? There's not really one in Voyager, but they do have the one that is Ask, because it's being retold by someone. What is that one?
I haven't seen Voyager, so goodbye now.
Oh man. Yeah. But
right.
boiled cake.
Cake.
That's what this episode was. Boiled cake. If you boil the cake, that's this episode.
If you boil the cake in a cask of Kelleran citrus mash, that's what you would get in this episode.
Don't knock it until you try it. I tried it. I tried it 3 times.
Watch. This is me after I tried it.
Not gonna.
See what I did there?
If I didn't love Star Trek and I didn't try, I wouldn't care.
I love Star Trek, and I did try, and I still don't care. All right. We've beaten this horse to death.
I think we'll wrap it up. Oh, that pain is gone from my life now. I've let it go. I've shared it. I've shared the pain, and I've let it go.
Next up, we've got 2 next ups.
Okay, what are our next ups?
Next up on our Discovery recaps, we are speaking about episode 6, or is it episode 5 of season 5? I'm not really sure. This is episode 4, right?
Oh, 6. This is 5.
This is 5. Okay.
Of Discovery.
Yeah, so it is episode 6. We'll be speaking episode 6 of season 5 of Discovery, Whistle Speak. I don't know what it's about. I didn't read any kind of synopsis of it. I refuse to read any synopsises. I don't want to be spoiled. So
okay, so we won't spoil you.
Don't spoil me. So say it to the audience. I'll take my earbuds out. Tell everybody what it's about.
Tilly and Burnham go on a planet undercover and try to do something to find the next piece.
There we go. Thank you for the high sign.
I just want you to guess, Chris. Is Michael Burnham going to be in this episode coming up next?
I'm going to guess no. There. The odds now have just shot up. I just thank you, all of you gamblers out there.
Whistle Speak. Is that a reference to something?
I don't know. I just keep thinking of Whistle Pig, which is my favorite rye. So, Also, next up is our recap of the Next Generation episode where no one has gone before. That's going to be on the main YouTube channel. So you'll be able to see one or both eventually at some point. So,
Yes, I watched that once yesterday, 2 days ago. When did I send you that video?
with The Traveler.
The Traveler, yes. I watched it on Laserdisc, and then next I'll watch it on Paramount Plus. Maybe a Blu-ray. I'll have to decide. Maybe one of each. See if there are any differences. But I'm looking forward to that. And you know what? I don't think Disco is going to disappoint me next week. I'm going into it with high hopes. I think it's going to all work out, and I think it's going to be a great episode.
There we go. You've got high apple pie in the sky hopes, and I admire you for that.
Whoops, there goes another episode of Disco. Right?
You're a Roddenberry optimist, is what you are.
I am. I think it's going to be okay. I'm going to really love this one next week. I can't wait. They only got what, 5 left, right? So they got to be good,
right? Yeah, no, they got to stick the landing. They got to,
because there's 5 left only, so they got to be good.
Yeah, okay. There's no way they're going to be wasting all of these opportunities. They can't squander it at all.
No, they got to know what they have, and they got to use it. Okay, for Treksploration, I'm Albie,
and I'm Chris,
and we'll see you next time.
Bye.